Several of you ask me, what medium do I use to plant my adeniums? Or what would I recommend you to use? Well, I don't know what I would use if I'll be in your place because I don't know what is available. But I know what I would look for. I would look for something that has a good drainage. Some unorganic ingredients and some organic ingredients. To start with, I would use perlite. I have a screen like this to sift the dust off, and I plant seeds in pure perlite. Not vermiculite, because vermiculite holds too much moisture and does not give me such a good result. There isn't enough air for the roots, and so the seedlings a little bit tend to have root rot. Some people worry that perlite or vermiculite has no nutrients, but I don't find that to be a problem because seed has nutrient in it for the start of their life. And later on, I add little bit and little more and little more of a fertilizer. The advantage of starting in pure perlite is that it is sterile. It contains no bacteria and no molds, nothing. Later on, when the plants have at least 6 pairs of real leaves, not counting these sprouting leaves that are part of seed, I transplant it into a gallon pots. Because I grow lots of plants, I buy used pots from local nursery. That's cheaper. Some have a good drainage holes, but some come with holes that start like a quarter of an inch above the bottom of the soil, bottom of a pot. That creates a tiny lake on the bottom, which would be no problem in middle of summer like now, but in winter when it's cold, it tends to start a root rot, rotting of bottom of the roots of adeniums, and some plants then have a spread of that rot upward. So I don't want any drainage stopping, and so I take scissors and I cut this part, I cut this part like that, I cut this part. So the drainage hole would go all the way to the bottom. But once I transplant, the used perlite is just a small part of the ingredients into which I'm planting the adeniums. Another inorganic ingredients I use is lava rock, cinder, which I sift through these screens to get rid of the dust and to separate the smaller particles from bigger particles. The bigger particles I use on the bottom of the pot to make drainage holes smaller. But rest of the pot, the smaller particles are main ingredients of the inorganic part of my mixture. If you don't have a cinder, it could be a gravel or a sand, but coarse gravel, coarse sand, not pebbles, so that it can retain air, it can retain moisture, it can retain and release nutrients. Now, for the organic part, I use partially compost and partially this, I come to this later, Compost, we have many types in a garden section of local supermarkets, and I read the ingredients. I choose some sort of compost that is soil-less, that has only decomposed organic matter, not soil, again because of a drainage. Plus, I look carefully in ingredients that it doesn't have the moisture retaining chemical. Again, it wouldn't be big deal in a summer, but in a winter it could start root rot, because after all, adeniums originate in deserts of Africa. Another organic ingredients I use, much slower decomposing and in bigger amount than compost actually, is redwood, shredded redwood. Some people, let me open it with scissors because this is a new bag. Some people are using coconut fiber, which is also available in some states in a gardening section, and it's pressed and you water it, you soak it in water before use. Coconut fiber, just like this redwood, has an advantage of good air and water retention and very slow decomposition. This is how it looks, the redwood. The redwood has additional advantage that the termites don't like it, and we have here termites in the ground. So I use redwood, and I mix these ingredients in such a way that the organic parts, compost and redwood, constitutes about 50% or little less of the mixture, and the lava cinder and a little bit of perlite constitute a 50% or a little more of a mixture. And that is what works so far best for me from what I tried, and I'm sure there are some kind of ingredients available where you live, both organic and inorganic, that would give your plants good drainage and good water retention at the same time, and the organic parts would not decompose too quickly. And that's about all, folks. So happy growing and goodbye. We can meet again for some other video.